We'd be lying if we said we weren't surprised by the Florian Wirtz links that dropped a few days ago. But hey, that's what big clubs do, right? If you want to compete at the top, you've got to be in the conversation for every elite player out there. And just being linked to someone like Wirtz sends a strong message. Liverpool mean business, so yeah, we just called Wirtz elite. And no, we're not just hyping him up for clicks. The guy is genuinely one of the most exciting young playmakers in the world right now. At just 22, the German midfielder has already nailed down a spot for both club and country. And according to multiple reports, Liverpool have their eyes on him this summer. Now, if you're not super familiar with the player, don't worry, we've got you. In this video, we'll break down exactly who Florian Wirtz is, and more importantly, how he could fit into Arne Slot's system if this move actually happens. So before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Alright, first things first. Wirtz is mainly an attacking midfielder. He's a classic number 10. He loves to float into that left half space and create chances from there. But don't think he's limited to just that role. With the way Arne Slot sets up his teams, we actually think Wirtz could thrive as a left winger too. Not in the traditional hug the touchline sense, but in that inside forward role Slot likes where the winger cuts in and becomes an extra playmaker through the middle. Wirtz can also do a job as a false 9. And if you followed Slot's tactics, you'll know he's a big fan of using forwards in that role to link up play and create overloads in the middle of the pitch. Basically, Wirtz is versatile, creative and intelligent on the ball, exactly the type of player who could thrive under Slot's flexible and attacking style. This is because Florian is technically brilliant. He's the kind of player who can receive the ball under pressure and still find a way to break lines with clever, intricate passes. His close control and awareness are top tier. He often positions himself between the lines, constantly scanning for gaps and using smart movement to give his teammates passing options. That kind of positioning helps open up progressive play and keeps his team on the front foot. Now, let's be clear, Wirtz isn't perfect. Physically, he's solid, but he's not some kind of athletic outlier. He stands around 5 feet 11 inches with a lean, agile frame. He's not a powerhouse, but he's definitely not lightweight either. He can hold his own in duels, and while he's not the type to dominate in the air, he makes up for it with long strides and strong stamina that let him cover a lot of ground. What's really interesting is that Wirtz actually ranks high among Bundesliga players in his position for defensive duel win percentage. That tells us he's not just a flashy playmaker, he's also switched on when it comes to the defensive side of the game. He puts in work off the ball, which is exactly the kind of effort a manager like Arne Slot would value. Offensively, Wirtz is an absolute menace. He blends vision, passing, and dribbling in a way that constantly puts defenders on edge. If you watch him on tape, you'll notice he's always one step ahead, reading the game, spotting spaces, and making decisions before others even react. The radar chart below gives a solid snapshot of what he brings to the table compared to other midfielders. It really highlights just how well-rounded and dangerous he is in the final third. That radar speaks volumes. Just look at those orange slices representing attacking metrics. They're nearly maxed out. Wirtz ranks near the top percentile for goals, non-penalty XG, shots, and shot-creating actions. This season alone, he racked up an impressive 10 goals and 12 assists in the Bundesliga. That's serious output for a player his age. The blue section, which shows his chance creation, is also sky high. Wirtz is a top-tier creator who regularly breaks into the final third, using a mix of ball carrying, sharp dribbling, and intelligent off-the-ball movement. Once he's in those spaces, he uses his technique and vision to set up teammates in dangerous areas. Then there's the green segment, focused on dribbling, and it's full as well. He completes a high number of progressive carries, regularly beats defenders one-on-one, and consistently receives progressive passes in advanced areas. All of that shows a player who is not only confident on the ball, but also crucial in moving it into threatening positions. So in short, Wirtz has the profile of an elite young playmaker. He's technically excellent, creative with and without the ball, and has fantastic vision and awareness. On top of that, he's a smart runner and a dangerous dribbler in and around the box. He plays with a level of maturity that goes beyond his age, especially when it comes to reading the game. Of course, no player is perfect. Wirtz still has areas to develop, such as his consistency in delivering the final ball, and his physical strength could both improve. But when you stack up his strengths against his weaknesses, there's no doubt that his upside far outweighs the rest. Now comes the big question: how would Wirtz fit into Liverpool's system under Arne Slot? Well, let us explain. First, his off-ball movement. This is crucial under Slot, and fortunately Wirtz excels here. He's not just a static number 10, he actively shapes the game by moving intelligently. For example, you can see here how he recognizes the opportunity to make a deep run, checks his shoulder to locate space, and then proceeds to attack it. He's excellent at making runs in behind the defense, often timing his diagonal or straight movements perfectly to exploit gaps beyond the last line. If a Liverpool striker drags a defender out of position, Wirtz can dart past and latch onto a through ball. He often targets the pocket between a centre-back and full-back, which is exactly the kind of vertical manipulation Slot encourages. And in the same sequence, notice how he also arrives in tight areas to overload. Wirtz will often pop up in free pockets the opposition leave behind, giving the player on the ball a clean passing option into a dangerous spot. These movements are coordinated and purposeful, designed to unlock compact defenses. Another clever trick is his use of double movements. Wirtz might fake a run in one direction, then quickly dart the other way to lose his marker. That subtle shuffle you see on video, looking one way then bursting into space, is a nightmare for defenders to read. Above all, he's constantly scanning the field. You'll often see him turning his head or angling his body away from the ball handler just to get a clearer picture of the space around him. That awareness means he's rarely static. He knows exactly when to drift wide, when to attack the box, and when to stay put and offer for the ball. That kind of intelligence is what allows him to arrive in the right place at the right time. Beyond his movement, his offensive qualities perfectly complement Liverpool's attack. Slot still wants wide players like Salah and Diaz to beat men in 1v1s, and Wirtz's movement and creativity would help open up those situations. He can thread through balls into Salah as he cuts inside, or pick out an overlapping fullback darting down the flank. And when Salah drags defenders wide, Wirtz can be the one bursting into the vacated inside channel, just like Szoboszlai has done so often this season. He could play that same role as the aggressive midfielder making third-man runs, or even operate as a kind of floating striker when needed. Now, when it comes to pressure and work rate, Slot doesn't compromise. He demands running, especially the moment possession is lost. And to be clear, Wirtz isn't lazy. IA's mentioned earlier, he ranks among Leverkusen's top midfielders for duels won. He presses, he intercepts, and while he's not your typical destroyer, he contributes more defensively than he gets credit for. In Slot's high line, his willingness to press from the front could fit right in. After all, Liverpool's midfield under Slot hasn't relied on a lone ball winner, it's been more of a shared load. Wirtz's quick reactions and commitment to close down could easily become part of that collective press. Chemistry with the current squad looks promising. Of course, he'd need time to build understanding with Liverpool's forwards and wingers, but given his vision and intelligence, that connection wouldn't take long. And stylistically, he's a natural fit. Liverpool under Slot thrives on fluid inside channels and midfield runners, which is exactly the kind of environment Wirtz flourishes in. In summary, Wirtz offers Liverpool a creative spark, intelligent movement, and tactical versatility. Under Slot, he could slot into the midfield three as a playmaker with the license to push forward, or even roam behind the striker. His clever runs in behind, and his ability to operate between the lines would give defenders a whole new kind of headache. Add in his work rate, his eye for a pass, and his sharp instincts, and it's hard not to see him as a smart tactical fit. So if Wirtz does make the move to Liverpool this summer, expect Slot to use him in fluid, flexible ways. Maybe he starts as one of the advanced midfielders, making late surges into the box. Maybe he drifts wide to create overloads. Maybe he even plays as a false striker when the system allows it. Whatever the role, one thing is clear: Wirtz's off-ball intelligence and technical class would add a whole new dimension to this Liverpool side. We'll have to wait and see how Slot unleashes him, but on paper, it's exciting. This could be the kind of statement signing that tells the rest of the league. Liverpool means business, so yeah, that's our breakdown of Florian Wirtz, what kind of player he is, what he brings to the table, and how he might fit into Arne Slot's Liverpool. From his intelligent off-ball movements to his creative spark and technical class, there's a lot to be excited about. Now, of course, whether we actually go out and get him is still up in the air. The price tag will be high and competition is guaranteed. But if we're serious about building something under Slot, this is the type of player that can push us to the next level. A long-term piece with huge upside, already producing at the top level. But what do you guys think? Is Wirtz the right fit for us under Slot, or would you rather we prioritize other areas first? I would like a holding midfielder or a left-sided defender. And if we do get him, where would you play him in the system? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, hit subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.